So, as much as I try to stay professional, I can't ignore the fact that this is starting to feel a little ridiculous. Another Thomas and Friends DLC? Really? If you're like me, someone who enjoys the realism, the simulation, the technical side of Train Sim World, then I bet you're feeling the same way. And let's be honest, you're not the target audience for this kind of content, and I'm not either. Probably the main reason I feel this way when I'm thinking of Thomas DLC.
No.
But before we all jump to conclusions or write it off as a joke, I think it's important to ask, why does Dovetail keep doing this? Why does a serious train simulator keep rolling out cartoon engines instead of the in-depth features we've been asking for? Well, in this video, I want to explore every reason I can find. Not to defend it, not to promote it, but to try and understand the logic behind it, from a business and development point of view. And maybe, in the process, we'll see where the future of Train Sim World is really heading. So, Thomas and Friends is back in Train Sim World. We've just had the Thomas and Friends DLC, and now he's becoming green. I mean, at this point, we might as well prepare for Gordon dropping in like a freight locomotive-sized Pokemon DLC.
Who's that Pokemon?
Is Gordongatron?
This is not first cartoonish type DLC. The Holiday Express Runaway Elf was a huge disaster, and I still don't have it, even with 90% discount. I'm not the target audience for this, and if you made it so far, you're not either. I'm here for the realism. For the sound of a BR-363, or a huge American locomotive shunting freight cars in a misty industrial yard. For the challenge of sticking to a timetable, managing systems, and driving like a real rail worker. We're not going into the details of each Thomas DLC. This video isn't about analyzing how Rosie drives or how many wagons Diesel can pull. Instead, I want to talk about why Dovetail Games keeps pushing this kind of content. Because for a lot of players, myself included, it feels like the sim we love is taking a strange turn.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, no. Yes, no, yes.
But let's try to understand the bigger picture. First of all, Thomas sells. It's a global brand, instantly recognizable, and not just by train fans. Parents, kids, casual players, they all know Thomas. And when a DLC drops with a smiling engine and simple controls, that's an easy buy for people who just want a relaxing experience, not a full-on simulation. Let's be honest, this is less PZB startup and more push forward and wave to the birds. And from a business point of view, that's genius.
I have an idea, guys. Yes.
Minimal systems, cute characters, instant nostalgia, and maximum profit. It's like the pineapple pizza of train sims. Some people hate it, but someone's definitely ordering it again. Then there's licensing. There's a good chance DTG signed a deal with Mattel, and those don't usually say make one pack and do what you want. This likely includes multiple mandatory releases, timelines, and brand placement. So whether we like it or not, we could see even more cheerful faces rolling in. Next stop, probably Harold the Helicopter invading Spirit of Steam. Thomas isn't just content, it's a gateway drug to trains. Kids see James, they click, they drive. Then, 5 years later, boom, suddenly they're asking what a sander tube is and debating adhesion loss on leaf-covered rails. DTG might be playing the long game. And let's not forget platform ratings. Having Thomas on the store page might help keep the age rating low on platforms like PlayStation or Xbox. It's hard to argue with a smiling blue engine when grandma's picking out a game for her grandkid. Not so easy when she sees a Class 66 hauling coal, for example. So that means Thomas brings more money in, which, in theory, could help fund more complex content, better physics, new routes, and further updates. But from our side, it just feels like the serious stuff keeps getting delayed, while the colorful stuff gets the fast track. And here's another reason that doesn't get talked about much. Long-term brand building. Let's imagine for a second that Dovetail isn't just thinking about TSW. Let's say they're also laying the groundwork for another title, maybe something like Train Sim World Tycoon, or a management game aimed at a broader, more casual audience. What better way to build a family-friendly audience than by bringing in a global icon like Thomas the Tank Engine in a very well-known franchise like Train Sim World. And once that casual audience exists, they can start funneling people toward the more realistic, simulation-heavy side. It's like Pokemon getting people into RPG mechanics. You start with cute characters, and before you know it, you're breeding the perfect IV. Signing a licensing deal with Mattel could be more than just short-term DLC drops. It could be part of a larger strategy to develop a future product that targets younger players, families, and casual gamers. Players who first meet Thomas in TSW today might be the ones managing railroads or building their own Shodor-style networks in a future Tycoon game tomorrow. It sounds far-fetched, but Dovetail has shown interest in expanding the scope of their railway games. And using a well-known brand like Thomas, it's a smart way to create a low-friction entry point into the world of trains. So yeah, we might see more smiling engines for now, but maybe, just maybe, they're helping fund and fuel a much larger railway empire in the background. And I get it, I really do. But from the perspective of a simulation fan, it's frustrating. Because while we're getting Thomas DLCs one after another, we're still waiting on the features that would take this game to the next level. Things like real dispatcher communication, random events, and changing signal priorities. And a proper, deep, modern implementation of Steam Loco mechanics, not just simplified cartoon versions. And I haven't even mentioned features like multiplayer or better AI traffic logic. Meanwhile, creators like us, we're pushing the limits of the livery editor. We're making fictional or real freight and passenger companies, redesigning entire trains, and squeezing every bit of realism we can out of what's already there. We're not asking you to stop making Thomas. We're asking you to keep investing in the real simulation that brought us here in the first place. So what do you think? Are these DLCs helping the game grow? Or is DTG losing sight of what matters most to its core players? Let me know in the comments. And if you're here for realism, for detailed liveries, for grounded content that reflects real railroading, then stick around. Subscribe for more, and see you in the next one.